Orpheus and Eurydice is a tragedy. A tragedy so sad that upon reading it for the first time, I wept.
Pussy!
Maybe it was how I relate to the poem, or maybe it was simply the beauty of Ovid's words. Am I really complimenting Ovid? Shit. Either way, it's beautiful. But what is the poem about? Orpheus was the son of Apollo and Calliope. He was a very talented lyre player, the best in the world. He was selected by Jason to join him on the Argo and go after the Golden Fleece. Eurydice was a wood nymph, one of the most beautiful nymphs in the world, or in some versions, she was even the daughter of Apollo.
Step brother! I need your help!
The two of them fell in love and became betrothed to one another, but unfortunately Aristeus, Orpheus's brother, also loved Eurydice.
Step brother!
And wanted her for himself. Finding her alone on her wedding day, he tried to seduce her. She escaped him, but in her desperation she stepped on a viper and it bit her. The venom seeped into her and she collapsed and died in Orpheus's arms. Orpheus, stricken with grief, tries to find a way to save her. He ventures, as most heroes do, into the underworld. He arrives to Charon and offers him a song to carry him across the river Styx. Then, when he gets to Cerberus, he plays him a beautiful lullaby on his lyre and the hound goes to sleep. Finally, Orpheus arrives at Hades and Persephone. He asks them in song form for Eurydice back. His song is so beautiful that the universe was moved. The gods wept and even the Furies shed a tear. Hades, moved by the song, says that Orpheus may have Eurydice back. She will follow him from hell, but he cannot look back at her till they get back in the land of the living. Orpheus, delighted, begins his journey back, but notices that he hears no footsteps behind him. His faith remains strong though. As he approaches the surface, he has a lapse, and he looks back to see if she is there. He sees her face, and his joy turns to pain as he watches her die a second death. He tries to return to Hades' halls. Orpheus runs back to the underworld, but Charon will not let him cross again, so he must leave without his beloved Eurydice. Orpheus changed from this point on. He never sang again, and was deeply depressed. The stories diverge here. Some say that he was killed by wild beasts, and others say he was slain by the Muses as they were angry that he no longer sang. Some say that his severed head became a singer or even an oracle at Lesbos to rival the one at Delphi until Apollo made him stop. My favourite version though is the one Ovid tells. Oh, fucking hell, I'm complimenting him again. In his version, he wishes for death. The nymphs try to seduce him, but Orpheus is still in love with Eurydice. The nymphs, enraged, kill him, and Rhea, pitying him, turns his remains into a tree, just one of many in a beautiful forest. His soul goes to the underworld to live forever with Eurydice, to walk through the Elysian fields forever, hand in hand, to look at her face whenever he wants. God, it hits hard, doesn't it? I won't go over all the works that influence it because, well, I mean, just look at that. But some very famous ones are Moulin Rouge, a shitload of ballets, Persona 3, the games Dante's Inferno, the Sandman comics by Neil Gaiman for DC Comics. As if it took us 6 videos on mythology for Neil Gaiman to come up. Something that I think is more important is the effect that this has on the human psyche. I think this because everyone can relate to this story. I think all, or at least most adults, have been attracted to someone, love someone. We've all lost someone we've adored. The story has a lot of dark twists, and even its happy ending is as a result of death. Perhaps the goal of the story is not to lose trust, but not to give up on love, even if there is a mistake separating you. Then again, it could just be a wacky mythology story.
Are you recording, Crystal?
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it as much as the poem moved me to tears. I've got something big in the pipeline, something very, very big. It's a special episode I'm planning. I've also got myself a Twitter now and an Instagram and also a subreddit. So go follow and join those. Link is in the description down below. Remember, as always, like and subscribe. Share this video with a friend if you want. Ring the bell for notifications and leave a comment if you have any suggestions or comments. And as always, I look forward to seeing you next week, babies.